business and music don't entirely go together. And what I mean by that is a lot of musicians don't know business. They don't know how to organize a business. But they're musicians. They love music. They know what they love, and they know what they don't want to do. And a lot of times, what they don't want to do is organize themselves in a way that would work like a business would work. And one specific example of this is whenever you make a purchase, and I'm not talking about little purchases. I'm talking about, like, a couple $100 and up, $500, $1,000, something like that, and up to whatever. But the point is, it's not their fault, a salesman's fault, who you're dealing with, if they forget what they said to you. I mean, a man's word is his word, but human beings and human nature is such where people can forget things. And you have to protect yourself from that in the same way that any business would protect themselves from people forgetting what was agreed upon. So a good example of this is if you're buying stuff for your studio and you're planning on spending $1,000 or $500 or whatever you're spending or up, right? And you're buying it from a dealer, you may want to say, always get the same thing out before you buy anything. Is there a 30-day return policy? Is there a restocking fee? That's a big one. A lot of times people forget to ask it or talk about a restocking fee, and you'll see fine print in whatever it is you're ordering. There's a restocking fee, or there can be a restocking fee. You need to get out of the way, is there a restocking fee? And figure out what that would cost you to return that thing. And this is what you get out of the way before you purchase it. In other words, your only leverage that you have is really before you purchase something. At that point, if they're going to charge you a restocking fee, or they might charge you a restocking fee, you don't have to buy from them. There's no shortage of people out there selling things. You can buy from a number of distributors and dealers, and a lot of them are more flexible on the restocking fee because they know that's a huge deterrent. Who would buy something for thousands of dollars, for example, and then have to pay a restocking fee on it when there's places out there who won't charge you a restocking fee? And this is what you do. A lot of times that restocking fee number, it's if they want to charge it or not. It's not always set in stone. It depends how many things you've bought from them before. It depends whether or not they think you're abusing their policy of returns, a bunch of things like this, right? So the goal is to get it out of the way ahead of time, whether there is one or not. But it's not enough to have them say it on the phone. This is the human nature part. People live their lives day to day. There's always something going on in somebody's life that you don't know about. They may forget whatever it is they said to you. This happens to me. Every once in a while, I'm dealing with somebody who forgets what they said. I have a very good memory. I write things down, so there's no chance I'm going to forget. I take pains to make sure I don't. But they're just having a conversation on the phone while they're at work one day out of a whole bunch of days they've been at work. So the point is, they may forget because they're dealing with a bunch of people. I'm just dealing with them. I know what I ask. I know what I say. I write it down when people say whatever. But also, check this out. I get them to send it to me in writing. That's the trick. It's not even a trick. It's the only way it allows you to point to something in the event that they don't keep their word or they forget. Let's assume everybody's a good person. They just forget what they said to you. So if you're going to be buying something that costs a lot of money and they refuse to send you in writing something like no restocking fee, 30-day returns, that's our policy. And this could be in an email. It could even be in a text. Because again, let's assume we're in the world of today. There are a lot of distributors, dealers, businesses, they're going by text today a lot of the time. The sales reps they're texting you and things. So it's common. So you could get it in a text, that's in writing. You could get it in an email. You don't need a signed contract. What you need is them to write it down and send it to you so that you can point to that when they inevitably forget. It might not happen. You may get somebody who's really good, who never does this stuff and never forgets. But a lot of people, like I said, they got life going on, so let's just assume they're great people and they just forgot. If as long as you get it in writing, you are okay. You won't be hit with this now, because let me tell you how it works. You buy something, and when you do, you make sure they say everything you want them to say, and they send that to you. No restocking fee, 30-day return from the time you receive it, all this good stuff, right? What'll happen is maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks goes by, and now you're not happy with it after you've tried it and you want to return it. And then when you go to return it, they tell you, even though you're returning it in perfect condition, nothing wrong with it, there's going to be a 15% restocking fee. They may say that. And now you're going to think to yourself, 15% of what I paid is a lot. I'm not paying that. We never said there'd be a restocking fee. You actually said there was no restocking fee. You actually said this doesn't incur any restocking fee. I can return it in 30 days, no problem. And if you can point to that in an email, you're okay. Not only that, if you had to at some point, fight about it with the credit card company or something, anything you have in writing is going to stand for you as your evidence of what they said. And anything you don't, it's like it never happened. So you bet this is important. And when I say you must operate like a business, if you're starting your own studio or you're a mix engineer or you're a producer or whatever, this is the part that a lot of people want to just kind of ignore, forget, until they get burned. Once they get burned by somebody who says, I never said that. I never said that. This is the fee. This is the deal with this thing. This is that. It was always the deal. And you go, no, it's not. We discussed this. And you have it in writing. Once that happens and you're good, you will always remember how great of an idea it is to do this. And when that happens and you didn't get it in writing, and for that time you decided to trust the person, they're going to remember. You'll be burned. They may now be able to make you pay some restocking fee, in which case you'll never forget this again. So hugely important. I don't need to go on and on, but I am curious about your stories. Anybody who's been in a position like this, you don't have to leave names. We don't want to incriminate anybody. We don't want anybody to, I'm never trying to tattle on people, because I do believe human nature is such where people have a lot going on, and people who are getting paid to be sales reps and it's not their whole life. And as a result, it's okay. It shouldn't be their whole life, but we can't get burned in the process. So this is just things I do to protect myself, and you guys should do the same. And I am by no means recommending that everyone abuse any return policies or anything. Quite the contrary. If you are not going to be able to pay for something, don't try it. Don't demo it. Don't start that kind of a thing where you're the guy who demos stuff and always returns it because you don't ever have the money. Don't do that. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you in good faith are trying something to see if it works in your room, if you like it, then you must be in a position to give it back if you don't, and you shouldn't be burned because you have to give it back. And a lot of places may charge restocking fees, but it's up to you to do the due diligence. Look around, see where else you could get it that might not. All right? Get it in writing. Make sure you get it in writing. It's way easier when you can keep mental sanity doing what we do. If you're sitting there trying to work, you have clients around you, or you're trying to mix a song and you got a deadline, and then you get a sales rep telling you restocking fee, and you're like, what? We never discussed that. That was actually the opposite of what you said. You said this, and you show him what he said. That'll put it to bed right there. If you don't have it in writing, you're going to be sweating that whole day. You mentally, how are you supposed to focus on what you're supposed to do when you're also thinking about what they are now trying to get one over on you because they're now saying the opposite of what they said before? This happens. We must maintain our focus. This is how you do it. Get it in writing. All right. Let me know your stories. If this happened to you, I think other people can learn from everybody's stories. So, like I said, this has happened to me. And if you buy enough stuff, I guarantee it happens to you at some point. So just protect yourself. All right. Nobody's that lucky that this is never going to happen. You guys got this. I hope you dig it. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. More stuff to come. You're going to see the new studio real soon. So you guys got this. Take it easy.